Good morning, everyone. My name is Cheryl. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new here, hello, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Hi. Today I thought I'd hang on. Okay, so first we're going to do a bit of an update. I am getting cataract surgery in 5 days. Okay, that's 10. 5 days. And I'm very excited. I'm getting my left eye done first, and then after it heals, I'll get my right eye done. But it's my left eye that has the biggest cataract, and I'm very excited to get it done. I've been told it's very easy peasy and the healing is really easy, and I'll be able to see much better. My doctor said I may not even need glasses after, so that'll be fun. We'll see how that goes. But that said, I haven't done as much reading as I want to because of said eyes. So I have done some reading though. And I am in the middle of recording like 3 or 4 other videos that I have to read for, so they're slowly getting done. So today I decided to do a January and February wrap up for you. I was going to do a January wrap up in the beginning of February. February is such a hard word to say. Anyways, I've always had problems saying that name. Yeah, that month. Okay, I'm tired. Can you tell I'm tired? It's literally 10:30 in the morning and I'm tired. It's ridiculous. Also, I have a candle going. You can see a little bit of the light there. I haven't shown it. I was going to pick it up, but it's probably hot, so I'm not going to do that. But I have a candle going. It's very beautiful. I've been loving having candles on lately, so that's been great. But I haven't done a lot of reading. So I was going to do a January wrap up, but then I thought I only read a few books in January, so I thought, okay, going to do January and February wrap up together and hope that I read in February. And I did. I read a few books in February. So I've got my phone, my handy dandy phone, and I'm just putting in my password. And we're going to go to Goodreads. So grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, maybe a knit or crochet project or something you'd like to do while you watch. And let's get started. Okay, we're not going to talk about my hair again because every time I do, I just get annoyed with myself. I did trim my hair and I think I like it, but this part right here seems to want to stick up all the time and it's really annoying. Okay, that's good enough. I have some, whoops, everything's falling. I have some coffee. I also have some soup from some noodle soup. You know, like the ramen noodles. I have some of that soup left in my future best-selling author mug. Which, if you want an update on my writing, I haven't been writing because it's very hard for me to look at screens and read on screens right now. So that has not happened. On my laptop, on e-readers, I can read okay. It's on the laptop, I'm having a hard time reading. So I haven't been writing lately, but that's okay. An update you didn't ask for. Okay, we're going to go to Goodreads. How's everyone doing? Are you doing good? Did you have a good January and February? How was your Valentine's Day? Mine was kind of boring. I don't have a boyfriend, so it's been boring. But it was an okay day. It's just another day for me. Fun fact, I've never had a relationship, been in a relationship on Valentine's Day, so that kind of sucked. That's okay. All right, so I have read 8 books in January and February, which, again, I usually read like 8 to 10 bucks a month, so not the best, but I think I read 3 books in January and 5 in February. I think, let's see when I read that one. Hang on one sec, I'm looking at my phone. When did I read? Yeah, I read it. Oh, I read that in February. Okay. All right. Let's see. We're gonna go. I'm all over the place. Okay. I want to go to my books. Okay. And it's not loading up. Why isn't it loading up? My phone may need charging. Why isn't it showing my books? It's not showing my books. Okay, let's try that again. Hang on one second. My phone is acting up. It needs charging. It's like 74%, and as soon as it gets to like 75%, it doesn't work as well. So we're hoping it'll work. At least I'm hoping. Challenge detail. Here we go. Okay. So the first book I read in January was Epilogue to a Christmas Murder. I'll put the pictures up. By Lauren Elliott. Lauren Elliott sadly passed away recently, so I wanted to pay tribute to her. And I read Epilogue to a Christmas Murder. This is a Christmas cozy mystery. I enjoyed it. I think her books are much better later on in the series. This is part of the, what series is it? Hang on. Let me look. View book details. This is part of the Beyond the Page bookstore mystery. It's number 11. And, sadly, it will be the last. Um, but I gave it 4 stars. So I typically don't enjoy Lauren Elliott's work, especially in this series. I've read a few of her earlier books in the series, did not enjoy them. And I think the main problem is I don't enjoy the main character. She's very, she does dumb things, okay? This is a cozy mystery, so a lot of times the main sleuths do kind of dumb things, but she just goes beyond that. That said, I did enjoy this book. I think the writing was much better than her earlier books, so I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I buddy read this with my friend Jess. I think she gave it 3 stars, maybe 4 stars. I'm not sure, but I really enjoyed it. I think the writing was much better than before, and I could get along with the main character a little bit better. So yeah, so in this book, our main character, I forget her name, but she goes to donate some things to a charity raffle, and she goes to that building, and things happen, and all the stuff is stolen. All the donations are stolen, and then there's a murder to do with that. Well, there's a murder that's separate, that her friend's ex, I think it's her ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, I'm not sure, gets killed. And so, do these two things connect, or are they separate? That was fun to find out. And of course, the main character wants to prove her friend innocent. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. So, 4 stars for that. Then also in January, I read Nightfall by Shannon Messenger. This is book. Which book is it? Hang on. I'm looking at my phone in case you're wondering. This is book 6 in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series by Shannon Messenger. This is a middle grade, and it's getting into more YA. It's kind of like how Harry Potter started middle grade and then he got older as it went on. So by the end of Harry Potter, it's more like a YA book. That's the same kind of thing with this series. So this is book 6. So Sophie is like 12 or 13 now. And I'm not going to say what happens in this book specifically because of it's book 6 in the series. But book 1 is simply called Keeper of Lost Cities, and there we meet Sophie, and she is on Earth, and she can hear people's thoughts, or I think, yeah, she can hear people's thoughts, and someone comes and swifts her way to a place where they tell her that she is actually an elf, and she goes to this magical school. There's a lot of things that happen, and in this book, I gave it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I read it physically. I did enjoy it, but it gets kind of convoluted. What's the word? Convoluted. Yeah, gets kind of convoluted in this book, and I know a lot of people have stopped reading the series at book 6 because of how convoluted it is. I am keeping reading it. I did enjoy it. So there's a lot of creatures in the book. There's a lot of political things, like in their world, not in our world, but in their world. And I'm really enjoying that. I love the characters. I love the love triangle between Sophie and two other guys. Again, this is more YA now, so of course there's a love triangle, and I'm enjoying that. I'm really liking it. I think it's great. I really enjoy the series. So it starts off middle grade. I would recommend it for like ages maybe 10 and up, I would say. Maybe 9. 9 or 10 and up, I think could handle, but you know your own children, you know what they can handle. I'm not a parent, so I don't know for sure. But I do suggest that if you are going to let your children read it, to read it ahead of time to make sure it's okay for what you believe and what you want your children to read. Because whereas I don't believe in banning books, I do believe in parents restricting certain books to their children, not other children, just their children, um, with their religious beliefs or with what they want their children to read. You know what I mean? Until a certain age. So, yeah, that's my advice. Although I'm not a parent, so who am I to know? But yeah, I gave it 4 stars. Not my favorite in the series, but I really enjoyed it. Okay, again, it's not showing it. Oh my gosh! Every time I say "oh my gosh," I think of the Legally Blonde musical. Except I say "oh my gosh" instead of "oh my god," and I'm like oh my gosh, you guys. And I start singing that, and Rosie always, the dog, always looks at me. She's like, "What are you doing?" She does not like me singing that song. Anyways, she's not here right now. She's downstairs with her mama. But okay. Challenge details. We want to go here. Nope, that's not what I want. Oh my gosh. I already forgot how to see the books. No, I don't want the friends. I want the books. Here we go. Alright, sorry about that pounding. I don't know what they're doing out there. I do live with roommates, so. Okay, the last book I read in January was A Study in Scarlet Woman by Sherry Thomas. I listened to this on audiobook and I enjoyed it. This is a kind of a historical cozy. It's I can't remember how it's related to Sherlock Holmes. Is it his niece? I'm not sure how. Hang on. Let's look. Okay. Charlotte Holmes is her name. I think it's her niece. His niece. Not her niece, his niece. Although I'm thinking, no, I got this wrong. Okay, so she goes under the name Sherlock Holmes, but her name is actually Charlotte Holmes. That's what this is about. My apologies. So this is assuming that Sherlock Holmes was actually a woman named Charlotte Holmes, and she solves a murder. And I like the Victorian descriptions, the descriptions of Victorian life. I really enjoyed that. Um, in my review, I said it definitely felt like a setup book. Um, and I think I'll give the rest of the books in the series more of a higher rating, because I did give this 3 stars, I believe. Did I say 4? I think I gave it 3 stars. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I think later on in the series, I will enjoy it more, but I did like it. I don't think 3 stars is a bad rating, and I will continue in the series. I think I will listen to them on audio though, because the narrator was really good. But yeah, I don't have much to say about it. It takes place in Victorian time, which I enjoyed. Let's see if I said anything else in my review. Oh, right. Okay, there are some trigger warnings. I'm just looking at my review. Yes, there is trigger warnings to do with an underage girl, a minor. Just to let you know, if something happens with an underage girl, I'm sure you can assume what it is, and there are some mentions of suicide as well. So I don't think the suicide is on page, but there's mentions of it. So there's that. So check your trigger warnings. In my review, I will leave my Goodreads link below, but in my review, I do mention the underage woman and the. I've said, here, let me read this to you. I said, check the trigger warnings on this book if you feel you need to. The specific trigger I'm talking about is a spoiler for the reveal. So even though it was well written and handled well, I don't want you to go into it and be caught by surprise. Just know that the reveal deals with sensitive issue with underage girls. As I said, it was handled respectfully, but it is there. Also, there are some mentions of suicide, so if you are not in the right mindset, please put this book down put this book off until you are. So yeah, that's a little bit spoilery. I probably should have put a spoiler. Well, no, it's not really spoilery. I don't think triggers are spoilers, but you may think that. But there is something to do with underage girls. So, just in case you're wondering, I think this book is more gruesome than most cozies. There's maybe not gruesome, just, yeah, kind of gruesome. There's mentions of blood and stuff. I think it's more realistic to the Victorian times, which may not be good for some people in modern times. So there's a lot of mention of some things that we just would not do these days. There's a lot of, you know, dirt and unpleasantries stuff in, you know what I mean? So, also it deals with issues that I think are not specifically cozy. So I don't know if I would call this cozy. I think I would call this just a historical mystery. But if you're into that, the Victorian setting was well described. I really enjoyed the main character, Charlotte Holmes, as well. I really enjoyed her. It took me a while to get used to her because she's very much like the canon Sherlock Holmes, where she's just blunt and honest, and that kind of personality is really hard for me to deal with. I don't particularly get along with people who are blunt and overly honest. I mean, honest is good, but when you say things you really shouldn't say to someone, that really bugs me. Um, but I did learn to love the main character, and I love the romance. There is, I believe, I'm not sure, I think there is a romance with a guy who is from India, I believe. So that was nice to see. Really enjoyed that. And anyways, thank you. Or I was gonna say thank you for watching. I haven't even finished. Oh my gosh, we haven't finished, people. Don't stop for now. That was just my January. Okay, I closed my phone and everything. Okay, that piece of hair is gonna drive me nuts. All right, let's go back to February's books. We've already been talking for 13 minutes or 20 minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Nope. Again, it's not showing it. Why does it do that? All right. Here we go. Nope, I don't want that. Where are my books? Okay. In February, I read Jessica Brymer, my friend Jessica Brymer, her book Don't Mask, Don't Tell. That is book 4 in her Messy Bookshop series. She is a good friend of mine. I gave it 5 stars. It was amazing. It was so good. I think her writing has gotten so much better. Not that she wasn't a good writer before. She was an excellent writer, and she deserves all the love. But her writing has gotten so much better with every book she puts out, which I think is normal for an author. And this particular book, Don't Mask, Don't Tell, is the ending of her series. It's the closing book in the series. And she is writing a novella, I believe, to do a series. But right now, it concludes all the overarching themes and all the overarching mysteries. Um, and that was done really well. I really enjoyed the reveals on that. Don't Mask, Don't Tell also involves Garnet, our main character, going to a what is it called? Like a masquerade, not a masquerade party. What are they called? Hang on, what are they called? Hang on. Oh, mm, mystery, a murder mystery party. Is that the right word? I can't think of what the word is. You know where you go to and you solve a fake murder? That's where they went. And she goes with her family and friends, and a real murder occurs, and she has to solve it. It was very well done. Really enjoyed it. Very funny. There's a lot of one-line clips that I really enjoyed. I laughed out loud at a few of them. And Garnet solves the murder, of course. And I can't talk. I tell you, I need a drink. And yes, so that was really good, really well done. It concludes, as I said, the overarching mystery of who her mother is and what it went on with her mother. I will say, check your trigger warnings for that particular reveal. There is some mention of neglect and abuse. I don't want to say anything more. It is not on page, but it is mentioned as something that happened in a person's life. So if that bothers you, I don't think it's too triggering. I think she did it very well. But just so you know, that is in there, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Drink some soup broth. Okay. Whoops. All right. Next, we're gonna try and finish this in 9 minutes before my video stops recording. Okay, again, it changed again. Come on. All right, and then I read A Trace of Poison by Colleen Cambridge. This is the second book in the Phillida Bright mystery series, Cozy Mystery Series by Colleen Cambridge. I have read all of this series out of order. So, if you don't know, I quite often read Cozy Mysteries out of order. Although, if you're going to read Jessica Breimer's um, Messy Bookshop series, I recommend you read them in order because, as I said, there is an overarching mystery that develops throughout the series. A Trace of Poison, I read. I really enjoyed it. I love this series. I think I gave it 5 stars. Hang on. What did I give it? Oh, I gave it 4 stars. Okay, why did I give it 4 stars? I don't remember why I gave 4 stars. Here is my review. This was a twisty, fun mystery with endearing characters and a great plot. I really enjoyed the book and this series in the whole. I have read every book in the Phillida Bright Mystery series up to publication and have given each of them 4 or 5 stars. I highly recommend them to any historical cozy mystery reader who loves plot twists that happen at the last possible minute, a stubborn main character who grows on you as a wonderful woman, a slow burn romance, and cameos by Agatha Christie herself. So this Phillida Bright is the fictional maid of the real life Agatha Christie. Of course, Agatha Christie is no longer with us. Rest in peace. But the author Colleen Cambridge kept a lot of who Agatha Christie was and what she did in her life, how she wrote her books, that kind of thing in there, and I really appreciated that. The housekeeper, the main housekeeper, Phillida Bright, is fictional, of course. And in this book, they go to a party, I believe. No, here it is. I remember. Amazing, eh? So they are having a contest where a bunch of writers, amateur writers, get together, and a lot of the Detection Club, which is the club that Agatha Christie was in, get together for a little weekend retreat with these authors, these amateur authors, and the winner, the Detection Club reads the manuscripts they send it that the amateur writers send in, and if they choose one, that person will get a publishing deal. So it's a big deal. And while at this retreat thing, a murder happens, and someone gets killed, and it's very good. like I said, they always have a reveal at the last possible minute. You think you know who did it, and then at the very end it switches, and you're like, oh, it wasn't them, it was the other person. And so that was really fun. I really enjoy that part of the series. I am currently reading the first book in the, forget what it's called, but it's the Mastering the Art of Murder. Is that what it's called? I'll put a picture up here. It is the first book in the series featuring Julia Child. I never know if it's Julie or Julia, but Child, who is that chef, and it's her friend who solves murder mysteries. So Julia makes a cameo in that as well, and I'm really enjoying that series. So if you don't know who Colleen Cambridge is, she also, that is a pen name. Her real name is Colleen Gleason, and she writes YA books out of that series, or I'm not sure if it's YA or adult, but different books in that name. And I do have one of her, oh my gosh, Colleen. I'm tired. I do have one of her Colleen Gleason books on my earks to read, so I will let you know what I think of those. But I really enjoy her writing. Her mysteries are always twisty and fun. I would recommend them. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I just had it, the video only records for half an hour. So, next I read, okay, the next I read an arc, which I have a full review in one of my videos that I'm recording now, where I'm doing NetGalley Notebook, but I will give a bit of a review on this. This is Tickerific Me, a book about Tourette syndrome by Alicia Myers. This book comes out, when does it come out? Hang on. It is not out yet. June 2nd, 2026, it comes out. I gave this 5 stars. It is a children's book. I don't usually read children's book, but if you don't know, I have Tourette syndrome as well. And as soon as I saw the title, Tickerific Me, I knew I had to get it from NetGalley. And I read it. I actually read it 3 times. So I read it very quickly. It's just a little children's book. First of all, the illustrations are wonderful. I really enjoyed them. The author does have Tourette syndrome, so it is own voices, and it's about a little girl who has Tourette, and she talks about her tics in this book. It is a children's book, so each page only has 1 or 2 sentences, but they are very powerful. They are very good. I felt like I wish there was a book like that when I was younger. I think this is a book that needs to be in classrooms. I think that daycare owners should read it, and it should be available in daycares as well. Anything to do children, I think, should have this as required reading, honestly. So in this book, we follow a girl who talks about having tics. And if you don't know what Tourette is, it is a brain disease that makes you do uncontrollable movements and noises. I have had Tourette since I was 11 years old. In this book, she has had it since she was 5. And I think it was 5, 3 or 5. And back these days, you do get diagnosed a lot earlier, a lot of times. But when I was diagnosed in 1989, it took a while for them to realize I had it. So I was 11 when I was diagnosed. Anyways, this book was really well done. I read it through, and then I immediately called my older brother and read it to him over the phone. And then I called my dad and read it to him over the phone because it was so good. There are things that the author put in this book that I knew before I even read the note at the end of the book that this author has Tourette, because there are some things they mention that is not well known about Tourette syndrome. So if you don't have Tourette, you probably don't know about that. Or if you're not a doctor, you don't know about that. And honestly, a lot of doctors don't know about it either, to be honest. But there were a couple pages where I was like, yes, that's amazing, because I I knew about these things, but not many people know about it. So I would recommend it. Very good. The pictures were very cute. It is a hopeful book. It is not a depressing book about tics or about Tourette syndrome. It is not depressing at all. It's basically her saying, hey, I have this disease, this disorder. I am doing these movements and these noises, but it's okay. I'm normal otherwise. Like, it's fine. It's just me. That's who I am, and I'm tickerific. So I really enjoyed that part. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I will recommend that book to everyone. It is great. Again, it's a children's book, but it is so powerful and so well written. Really, very much recommend it. And of course, I gave it 5 stars. I would give it 10 stars if I could. Really enjoyed it. And I have since read it a fourth time. Um, yeah. And then the last book I read in February was Jane Austen's Bookshelf by Rebecca Romney. Now, did I finish that in February or March? Hang on. Yes, I finished it February 27th. Okay. Jane Austen's Bookshelf, again, is going to be in another video, but a short, hopefully short, review of it is I loved it. I thought it was great. Um, I gave it 5 stars, I believe. Yes, I gave it 5 stars. It is a book about um, the female writers that came before Jane Austen, who inspired Jane Austen to write, and who are most of them are forgotten these days. Not many people realize that there were female writers in the 18th century. A lot of people claim that Jane Austen is the like famous classic first woman writer kind of thing. And we forget about these other female writers in the 18th century. So I really enjoyed learning about them. In the process of learning about them, the author also talks about her rare book collection and how she's a rare book dealer. Really enjoyed insight into that as well. I definitely want to read some of these authors now. I thought their backstories were wonderful. There's a lot of talk of females being treated badly. Back then, this was in the 18th century, and I mean, to be fair, women are still treated disrespectfully a lot of times, but not nearly as bad as 18th century. So there's a lot of talk of these women writers who were treated very badly and were taken advantage of with their books, and they were considered to be bad people because they were writing books. Some of these authors wrote to be able to afford to put food on their table for their like 10 or 12 kids because the husband has left them penniless, because back then women had no rights to their money. And so when the husbands would leave them, they didn't give them any money, and so expected them to raise their kids. And there's one author that wrote simply to get money to be able to feed her 12 kids. And my heart broke for her. And yeah, there's a lot of talk about feminism, about not in your face feminism, but just talk about women's rights. It was really well done. I really enjoyed it. There were a couple things I disagreed with her on, but that's just because of my religious beliefs. Um, Most of it I agreed with. I think there was only one thing I disagreed with, and it was very minor. It wasn't anything serious, just a little thing I disagreed with. And but I will talk about this book more in another video. I gave it 5 stars. It is, of course, nonfiction, and I would recommend it. I am trying to read more nonfiction this year, so you can look forward to a video coming out soon, probably within 2 weeks, maybe, where I read some nonfiction, and you will see more discussion on that book, the Jane Austen's Bookshelf, in that video. That is all I read in February. I am currently reading a lot of books, so I'm not going to go through what books I'm reading, but I'm currently in the middle of a lot for different videos. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please give me a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And again, when you like a video, it helps to let other people know that you enjoyed this video and that other people should watch it. It gets recommended in other people's recommended feeds. So give me a like if you enjoyed and you would like other people to watch. Remember to hit the bell button as well to get notified when a new video comes up for me. Thank you all for watching. God bless. Have a great day. Yeah, bye, guys.